Hello everyone, welcome. If you are new here today, my name is Akila and this is Bonnie. And if you're not new here, you may have noticed that I took a little bit of a break. I was on a bit of a hiatus for a bit. So it was a little bit busy and overwhelming, but I'm back and I'm happy to be back. And in the time that I took away, I was actually pretty grateful for it because it gave me a bit of time to reflect. I feel like it can be a little bit difficult to feel like you're showing up authentically on the internet sometimes. And I got to put some thought into how I can use these classes and this wonderful connection that is the internet to make a positive impact and feel like I'm doing something good. So that being said, going forward, each of my classes, I will be highlighting a charity. And my hope is that if you take this class, if you enjoy it, or if you see the class and you feel passionately about the charity that I'm highlighting, that you would consider donating. So I'll be linking the charities always in the description box. And my hope with this is just that we can make the internet a little bit more of a caring and giving place. I feel like these days, everywhere you look, there's affiliate links and people trying to sell you something. So my hope is that I can just draw some attention to some really important issues and maybe encourage you to spend that $5 to $10 perhaps on a really, really worthy cause rather than whatever the latest influencer is trying to sell you. So that being said, with today being the last day of June, I'd like to highlight a charity that was recommended to me by my friend Brent. So thank you, Brent, for your suggestion. He suggested that I highlight the Trevor Project, which is an LGBTQ plus hotline for those that are struggling with mental illness. And they do lots of fantastic things in terms of research and outreach and just being a supportive, kind place for members of the LGBTQ community to reach out to. So if you're interested in donating to the Trevor Project, I will be linking it in the description below. And all that being said, I'm sorry I've talked a lot, but it's all very important and I really do hope that you consider donating. And today we're gonna be doing a very gentle flow. Miss Bonnie doesn't want to do a gentle flow, but we're going to. We're going to do a gentle flow that's great for after a long day, and it's just going to be slow and hopefully very stretchy, and I hope you feel amazing afterwards. So that being said, we're going to cut for a moment while I get rid of this chew so that she can actually focus, and we'll get right into it. So we'll go ahead and get started in a child's pose. You can bring the knees wide to the edges of the mat, big toes to touch, or if it feels better, you can bring the knees a little bit more narrow. Whichever angle of the legs you choose, we'll walk the hands forwards and let the forehead come down towards resting on the mat. Starting to feel all the places here that are grounded, supported by the floor. Drawing your attention to your breathing, taking long and intentional inhales and exhales through the nose, keeping the lips sealed. Inhaling, filling up the lungs all the way, and feeling that slight moment of pause at the top of the breath when the lungs are full, before the exhale starts to release. Allowing the hips to sink heavier towards the heels. Feeling the shoulders melt heavily towards the mat. And if you're feeling any residual tension in the neck
or the forehead, or any of the joint spaces. See if you can just start to let it dissipate. And we'll take one more long breath in here. And then on the exhale, start to ground into the palms and start to take the weight forward, coming towards a tabletop position. So wrists come underneath of the shoulders, knees are going to come in a little bit underneath of the hips. And we'll start by taking the right fingertips towards the right ear. Right elbow is going to reach up towards the sky. Come into a gentle twist towards the right from the mid back to the upper back. And then on the exhale, you're going to bend into the left elbow and bring the right elbow towards the mat, taking the twist to a counter to the other side. Inhales, twist you open to the right, elbow reaches up. Exhales, twist you to the left, right elbow reaches down. We'll take one more. Inhale, peel open, right elbow comes up towards the ceiling. And this time on the exhale, you're going to thread the right hand in the space between the left hand and the left knee. Back of the right arm comes to the mat, and the right ear comes to the mat as well. Coming into a thread the needle. Option to extend the left fingertips forward, or maybe the left fingertips wrap behind the back until the left fingertips meet the right hip. Very early in class here still, so taking it gently with these twists. And we'll take one more inhale through the nose. And as you move through your exhale, you'll start to unravel that left arm, plant the hand, and come back through the tabletop position. Next inhale takes it to the other side, so left elbow reaches up. And then exhale, counter twist to the right, left elbow meets the mat. Inhale, peel open to the left. Exhale, counter twist to the right, left elbow comes towards the mat. Last time, inhale, peel as you open, left elbow high. This time, exhale, left hand threads through, left ear meets the mat. And then an option to extend that right arm forward, maybe come to the fingertips. Or you can take the right arm behind the back until the right fingertips meet the left hip. Taking a few breaths here. Maybe on the inhales you find spaciousness in between the vertebrae. And on the exhales you might find a little bit of additional twist. One more big inhale here. And then as you move through your exhale, unthreading the arm, planting the right hand, and coming back through the tabletop position. Inhale, we'll tuck the toes. And then exhale, ground into the palms of the hands and lift the hips up and back for a downward facing dog. It's early in practice, so you can maybe walk out your dog, pedal from foot to foot. Or maybe you find a deep bend in the knee so that the hips can come up and back. We want to try and prioritize lengthening into the spine over straightening into the legs. So whatever little movements you need to do here, totally up to you. Next time we take an inhale, take the gaze forward to meet the hands. And on the exhale, step the right foot to the outside of the right hand. Maybe you find you can't step the foot up all the way. You can use your hand to the back of the calf to step it forward a little bit more so it feels like it's a good width of a stance. And then we're going to drop the back knee. So we're going to be playing with a little rock back and forth between this low lunge and a half split. And we're going to be opening up into the hips a little bit more. So we're going to be getting into a pattern. Fingertips can come to either side of the front foot, or both can come to the inside of the front foot, whichever you prefer.
On your inhales, you're gonna rock the hips back and start to straighten into the front leg, coming into your half split. On your exhale, you're gonna rebend into the front knee, toes pointing straight forward, and come back into that low lunge. Now inhale, sit the hips back, straighten into the front leg. This time exhale, start to point the toes a little bit out towards the right slightly as you bend into the front knee. So you're taking those front toes to point to the top right corner of your mat. Maybe your knee comes out to the side a little bit. Inhale, sits the hips back. Exhale, pivot the toe back to parallel and come forward into that lunge with the foot facing straight. Inhale, rocks the hips back, half split. Exhale, toes pivot out towards the right top corner of the mat, knee point slightly out, coming into that low lunge. One more time, inhale, sit back, half split. Exhale, rebend into the front knee, toes pointing straight forward, knee point straight forward. Last time, inhale, sits the hips back, half split. Exhale, we bend, pointing the toes slightly out to the corner, and bend into that front knee. Option to stay up towards the hands, or you can start to walk the forearms down, coming into a deeper stretch. A few breaths here. Maybe a gentle rock of the hips side to side. And then once you're ready, start to walk back up to the hands. Planting the hands inside of the foot, tucking into the back toes, and lifting the back knee to step back, coming through downward facing dog. A few petals from foot to foot. And then inhale, take the gaze up towards the hands. Exhale, stepping the left foot outside of the left hand. Again, you can use a little bit of assistance with the hand on the back of the calf to step that foot forward. Any micro adjustments you need when you get there to get comfortable. Get into a lunge stance that feels right. So the distance between your two legs should feel comfortable to you. So it may not look exactly how mine looks. And then we're going to start to take it into that pulse. So on the inhales, we rock the hips back, straighten into the left leg, half split. As you exhale, bend into the front knee, coming back towards that low lunge, toes point forward. Inhale, take the hips to rock back, straighten any amount into the front leg. And then exhale, we pivot the toes out towards the left, bend that knee, tracking the knee over the toes. Inhale, sit the hips back. Exhale, we bend into that knee, toes point straight forward. Inhale, sit the hips back. Exhale, pivot the toes out towards the left, coming into the low lunge. Inhale, sit the hips back. Exhale, we pivot the toes to face straight forward as we bend into the front knee, come towards that low lunge. Last time, inhale, sit back. Exhale, point the toes outwards, come into that lizard lunge, and then option to stay up onto the hands, or you can start to come down towards the forearms. Back toes can be tucked under or untucked, whatever is more comfortable. And wherever you are, do try to challenge yourself with the stretch, but if it gets to the point of extreme discomfort, we want to back off a little bit. The idea of this class is to make your body feel better, not worse. We'll take one more breath here. And then inhale, coming back up onto the hands if you were down to the forearms. And then tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, and then step that left foot back to meet the right for a downward facing dog. Again, taking a pedal from foot to foot if you'd like to
And really allowing the hips to lift up towards the sky. Next time you inhale, take the gaze forward to meet the hands. And exhale, step the right foot outside of the right hand. And then drop the back knee. So we're going to come into a different pulse, which is going to be a little bit of a combination of the two patterns we just did. So on your inhale, right fingertips come to right ear. We're going to twist open and sit the hips back and straighten into the front leg. So you're coming into your half Hanuman, your half split, but with your twist, right elbow pointing up towards the ceiling. And then on your exhale, you're gonna rebend into the front knee, come into that low lunge, and then take that counter twist, right elbow maybe reaches towards the floor. So inhale, we sit the hips back, straighten into the front leg, take that twist over to the right, right elbow faces the ceiling. And then exhale, rebend into the front knee, take the counter twist. Last time, inhale, sit the hips back, straighten into the right leg, right elbow reaches up, twist. And then exhale, counter twist, rebend into the right knee, right elbow reaches potentially towards the mat. And then we'll take the inhale back through the low lunge. Hands come to the inside of that front foot. And then tuck the back toes, lift it back, downward facing dog. Ready to repeat that to the second side. Inhale takes the gaze forwards to meet the hands. And then exhale, step that left foot outside of the left hand. Back knee drops. Inhale takes the left fingertips to the left ear, coming into the twist, sitting the hips back, straightening into the front leg, finding the twist. Exhale as we come forward into the lunge, that left elbow reaches towards the floor, coming into a counter twist. Inhale, sit the hips back, straighten into the front leg, peel open towards the left. And then exhale, rebend into the front knee, left elbow meets the mat. Last time, inhale, peel open, straightening into the front leg, big twist over to the left. And then exhale, we rebend into the left leg. That left elbow comes towards the counter twist. Inhale, we come back through the lunge, hands to plant. And then exhale, make your way back to a downward facing dog. Taking a few breaths here. Any little micro movements to make your down dog comfortable and sustainable. And then drop the knees for a moment, coming back through your tabletop position. We'll take a few cat-cows. Toes can be tucked or untucked. Inhale, drop the belly towards the ground. Take the gaze up and open broad across the chest. Exhale, press into the palms, round into the spine. Gaze comes in towards the belly button. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze, arching into the low back. And then exhale, rounding into the back, pressing firmly into the palms and the tops of the feet. One more time, inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze. And exhale, round into the spine. Gaze comes in towards the belly button. And then inhale, come back through the neutral. Exhale, you're going to cross over the ankles, sit the hips back. And we'll start to extend the legs long in front of us. So we've done some work to open up into the hamstrings, and we've also done some twisting. So we're going to take this seated forward fold into another little pattern that we can flow through. So inhale, we'll take the chest forward and try and lengthen into the spine. Hands can come into contact with any point of the legs.
They may reach towards the feet, they may reach towards the shins or to the sides of the knees. Wherever you are with the hands in contact with the legs, you're going to be taking opposite hand to opposite leg. So we'll start, right hand comes to the outer edge of the left leg, making a point of contact, any point of the leg. On the inhale, you're going to swim the left arm back. And exhale, take the left hand to meet the outer right leg. Inhale, swim the right arm back, circling it forward, and then threading it to the outer edge of the left leg. Inhale, circle left arm back. And then exhale, bring it to the outer edge of the right leg. Inhale, right arm swims back. Exhale, bring it forward to the left leg. And maybe you find as you flow through these, continue on your own breath, your own pace, but you may find as you go, you're walking further down the legs. And just take a few more of these. Again, flow at your own tempo. And eventually we'll get to a point where you feel like you've gone as far as you can go. And once you reach that point, feel free to continue if you haven't reached that point yet. You'll take the hands to cross, meeting towards the outsides of the legs, and then let the head hang heavy. Coming down into a very passive forward fold. And you can use the hands tractioning to the point of contact to the outer edge of the legs or outer edge of the feet. Maybe you flex into the feet, or you can let the ankles extend. We'll take one more deep breath in here. And then on the exhale, you can start to roll yourself all the way up to a seated position. And then you might need to scoot yourself forward slightly on the mat so you can roll all the way down to the back and come to reclined. And once you arrive there, you can take the left ankle to cross over the right thigh, coming into figure four legs. And you may find this with the right foot planted flat to the floor is a sufficient stretch for you. If you're not feeling much sensation here, you can start to lift the left foot from the floor and pull the right thigh in towards the belly. And maybe you take the hands to interlace around the back of the right leg, or maybe the front of the right shin. And we have done a little bit of hamstring opening, so maybe you even feel prepared to start to straighten into the right leg and maybe reach towards the big toe. And you can gently maybe press into the left knee, but please remember to be mindful We'll take a few deep, long breaths here. And then on the next time you exhale, release that right leg. Start to come back through the center, uncross the left leg. And then take it to the second side. So crossing the right ankle over the left thigh. Same options here. Foot can stay grounded. Foot can lift using just the strength of the legs to pull them in.
Or you can take the interlace of the hands behind the left leg or in front of the left shin. Final option is you can take that left leg to straighten and maybe reach for the big toe. And this can feel drastically different from side to side. It's very normal. And just do the best you can to try and be as even as possible on both sides. Sending the sit bones long towards the front of the mat. Feeling all edges of the back of your pelvis ground down. One more breath in here. On the exhale, slowly release with control. Back through the center. Then from here, taking the arms out to a T, and just let the stack of your knees fall over to the left. Maybe take the gaze right. Coming into a gentle twist to finish off class today. Again, finding the heaviness, feeling the support of the floor. And then inhale, we'll come back through the center. Knees transit over to the second side. Head turns over to the left. Knees fall right. Maybe you start to allow the eyes to close here. Really starting to wind down. And the next time that you initiate your inhale, you'll bring the knees gently back through the center. You can give your knees a little bit of a hug. You're more than welcome to take a moment in Happy Baby before we move into our final rest. You can take a traditional Shavasana if you prefer it, but I'm going to cue us into constructive rest. So taking your feet to plant towards the outer edges of the mat and let the knees knock in until they touch. Hands can either rest on the belly or maybe down by the sides. So this can be a really lovely release for the low back. And it can be an extremely restorative position. So if you feel comfortable in it, I really encourage that you give it a try. And here in this constructive rest is where I will leave you for class today. So please, if you enjoyed today's practice, I do again encourage you to donate to the Trevor project, which will be linked below. And also please subscribe to the channel, give this video a like if you enjoyed it so that I know what type of classes you like. And I hope to see you the next time we flow, and I really hope that you enjoy the rest of your day.